every single game in double digits. She is averaging 16.6 points per game, 10.2 rebounds per game. You know she's going to be ready.
And I am very intrigued by this Arkansas team. They are fresh off their first SEC conference win. That was Sunday, a blowout of Auburn. They are playing with house money. This is a program that Kelsey Music has been guiding all season. They have never given up. The vibe is positive. So who knows? Maybe we'll see an upset right away in our opening game. Arkansas is the number 16 seed. Their head coach, Kelsey Music, there on the left. Kenny Brooks on the right for Kentucky. Coach Brooks is enjoying his 20th 20-win season. Last year, Kentucky was here as a 4 seed and lost in the opening round. Today, they get to play first and are looking to get off on a winning track. Charlie Cream still says Kentucky has a chance to be a top 16 seed in the NCAA tournament. Tiani Key for Kentucky will be jumping up against Ashlyn Clarkson of Arkansas. The SEC tournament is underway. March Madness has begun. Tony Morgan out to Hassett. Hassett, a three-point specialist, buries the three right away. Hassett, 76% of her made shots this year have been threes. Now look at the Arkansas starting five. This starting five's won 4 of Arkansas's games when they've been on the floor to begin the game. Bonnie Dees and a turnover on the Razorbacks.
Well, that's going to be a tough one, too. You see a hard foul. Thankfully, Asia Boone shakes it off, gets down to the other end.
Foul was on Clarkson, her first. Kentucky with a fairly new starting lineup for them. Jordan Obi was starting, and now they like to bring her in off the bench and play her natural 4. But these starting 5 very good together. Asia Boone, back-to-back threes for the Wildcats. That is an excellent start for Kentucky. Their 2 best three-point shooters nailing threes on their first 2 attempts.
Well, it's the same play they basically did on either side. Hassett, the recipient of the first side, Boone on the second hand.
Clarkson mid-range jumper. Clara Stratt grabs her first rebound of the game. Tony Morgan out in the open floor.
Well, this is what Kentucky wants to do. They want to get the ball out, get the ball inside, and move up and down the floor.
Strack short on that shot. Talia Jones with the rebound. Jones leading scorer, number 10 for Arkansas. Bonnie Dees, one of the most talented freshmen in the SEC this year, up and under. We've got 2 Aussies on the floor. Dees is one of them, and Millie Hassett for Kentucky is the other.
Well, I can tell you this, Coach Music probably had a conversation with Dees. I mean, you have those freshmen like up and down throughout the season. But we've had the opportunity to watch Dees a couple of times, and she is a player they're going to want to watch.
Let's go back to that Asia Boone 3.
Well, I love it. You see, you have to play Tony Morgan up front, get in front of her, to be able to get the defense to help off, and Boone knocked down. But even more importantly, the reaction from the bench. Everybody is locked in. And
they all know that she just tied Ryan Howard's single season record for threes in a season. That was her 84th. Morgan on the free throw line. She was fouled by Clarkson. Second foul on Clarkson, by the way. And Kentucky off to a good start. Dees stuck in the paint. Rodriguez will drive.
And this is the way Arkansas likes to play. They want to do the dribble drive, kick out to the three-point shooter, something that we heard Coach talk about yesterday.
Jump ball, possession arrow will keep it on this end. Now that is a characteristic of Kelsey Music's style of play, the way she likes to coach. Her teams, she hopes, will be high-scoring, dribble drive offense. This is her 3rd rebuild. She did it at the Division II level, did it at Oral Roberts, and now has been tasked to do that at Arkansas. And she has never lost that positive, motivating spirit the whole season.
And I think you have to have that, especially going into the SEC tournament and every single game. And yeah, I think when you look at the SEC overall, you never know who's going to win game to game. You have to bring your A game. And Arkansas, fortunately, hadn't. When you look at the record, hasn't had it, but getting that first win is definitely a plus.
Tiani Key from just inside the top of the key, burying the jumper. Again, that is one of the characteristics of Kentucky's team. Their bigs can shoot the outside shot. They can dribble. Pretty much a positionless basketball team. And Bonnie Dees making the highlight reel.
Dees is going to attack the basket. She had the green light to go, and last couple possessions, she's done a great job with finishing.
Dees with all 4 Razorback points. Boone off the screen.
What a pretty shot. Comes off that screen, that down screen getting set, not able to connect, but a beautiful shot.
Robinson took an extra step and a travel. How about the range of Tiani Key?
Well, Tiani Key stretches the defense. When you have your 4 or 5 player that can step up right there and knock down that shot, that's huge. But of course, you go to the flip side. Bonnie D just trying to find a way to create the shot, and good job with the finish.
Dees with 7 double-doubles in her freshman season. They say her motor never turns off, which is a coach's dream. That's the tough assignment of guarding Morgan right now.
Well, it's interesting that you saw her go up against Tiani Key, who was the 4 for Kentucky, but yet she's guarding the point guard.
Obi and 1.
Great play by Obi. Maria Anais going to get called for that foul.
So Rodriguez coming over her first foul. Obi will be at the free throw line, and Obi completes the 3-point play, the 3-time All-Ivy League selection at Penn, her first season at Kentucky. Was a starter for most of the year, and then they decided to put her back at her natural 4, so she's been coming off the bench lately. Rodriguez on the drive, tries to get it over Strack. That's a tough shot. Here's Boone.
Yeah, I don't like that one-on-one matchup for Rodriguez. I think she's got to either pass and move the ball a little bit more.
Morgan almost turned it over. Strack was there to bail her out, and Strack draws a foul and comes away laughing.
That's going to be the second one on Rodriguez.
She was very fortunate to get that rebound and draw the foul as well. That's the 4th team foul already on Arkansas, so one more, and Kentucky will be on the line the rest of the quarter. Clara Strack has just been playing better and better. First team All-SEC selection, also on the all-defensive team.
And she's a player that, you know, when Coach Brooks talks about her, you can just tell the genuine love and appreciation for the way that she played, the person that she is, but the way that she plays. And when you start racking up with these accolades, I mean, it's just part of who she is.
Rodriguez 3 is off the mark. Strack was not highly recruited out of high school, has blossomed into one of the best players in the country. Arkansas with a chance to eat into this early Kentucky lead. ESPN Analytics gives Kentucky a 97% chance to win this game. But they are playing a team that's won their first conference game for the first time this season.
On the opportunity to come here, talked a little bit about just Coach Music and her energy. Boone able to knock it down from the corner.
A 7-0 run for Kentucky, and Asia Boone is now the official single season record holder for threes made. That was her 85th 3 of the season, and Asia Boone is red hot and has put Kentucky up 16-4. Yeah, those threes assisted by Tony Morgan, and Tony Morgan coming in and breaking Georgia Amore's single season assist record. When Kenny Brooks brought her in, he said, I don't want you to try to fill Georgia's shoes. I want you to bring your own shoes.
And I love that mentality, because you look at what Georgia Amore has meant to Kentucky and just Kenny Brooks' programs overall. You don't want another replicate of Georgia Amore. You want somebody to come in and be themselves.
Kenny Brooks was a point guard at James Madison, and she said she likes playing for a former point guard. Morgan has actually picked up her scoring toward the end of the season as well. Strack short on that attempt. Dees grabs a rebound. Dees has a knack for rebounding.
Yeah, I think Dees has a knack for everything. She was always that, like, the Energizer bunny that never stopped.
Lob down low, and they collapse on her, and a foul. Just coming into the game was Galea, who's on the island of Malta, and gets fouled by Asia Boone. Millie Hassett will check back in and replace Boone.
Coach Brooks said he was going to go to his bench early. That's one of the concerns that we've seen for Kentucky is who's going to be available to play and making sure they stay out of foul trouble.
Kaylin Carroll with the steal to Obi. Nice spin move. Doesn't get the finish. And now Obi is still down, 4-on-4. Robinson will pull the trigger. Another three on the way. And that one is short by Bates. Arkansas has missed their last 6 shots. Carroll. And a foul on Clara Strack over the back. Well, a reminder, we got a Sunday softball triple header on SEC Network. Number 3, Texas, and number 22, South Carolina, noon Eastern. The number 1, the Lady Vols, will host 17th ranked LSU. And the afternoon capped off by the second game of a 3-game series between Missouri and Florida. One of my favorite times of year when we got March Madness and the start of softball. Talea Jones buries the 3 for the Razorbacks.
I love that shot. I love the patience for Arkansas. Continue to get the shot. You can see Coach Music up on her feet, continuing to motivate. No matter how many misses, keep shooting the ball.
There's a turnover. That's one of the things I love most about this Arkansas team. They do not give up. For Kentucky.
And that might have been a double dribble that she got away with.
Dees. Hassett, good position on that box out. That last turnover, to me, it was only Kentucky's first turnover. This has been a good start for them.
Well, Toni Morgan at the head, she does a great job of just controlling the offense. You talked about her scoring. That's a shot, not able to fall, but Tiani Key, always around, got a knack for just finding the ball wherever it is.
Talea Jones gets called for the foul. That's her first. And remember that they got 14 fouls quickly, so Kentucky in the bonus for the remainder of the quarter. Tiani Key dislocated her elbow against Missouri earlier this year and had to miss 6 straight games, and boy did they miss her. And her mom Tammy, always a presence at her daughter's games. Remember, Tiani's older sister Tamari played at Tennessee. Good family section for Kentucky today. Charlie Cream saying that they need to get at least 2 wins here to be in contention for a top 16 seed. Winner of this gets Georgia tomorrow. Hassett.
Good tap by Obi.
Morgan, and Morgan will go back to the free throw line for Kentucky.
Kentucky's done a really good job on the offensive board, but also moving the ball, getting good shots. While a lot of the shots have not fallen, what you've been able to see is them getting offensive rebounds, getting some second chance opportunities.
First foul on Bonnie Dees. Toni Morgan not only broke the single season assist record for Kentucky, she actually leads the entire nation in total assists.
She's a true point guard, always looking and trying to find, and you see Georgia in the house doing a little scouting, getting ready for tomorrow.
Georgia beat Kentucky the last time they played. They also beat Arkansas. Kentucky beat this Arkansas team by 20 on February 1st. We referenced Strack's career-high 33 points in that game.
And that was also the first game Tiani Key got back in action after coming back from her dislocated elbow. And she had a double-double in her first game.
Bates gets open for the mid-range, too strong. Kentucky's missed their last 5 field goal attempts, looking for a ball to go through the net. Hassett, got it. Millie Hassett, her second 3. She grew up playing a sport called netball, and that would not have gone in if it was netball, because there's no backboard in netball.
Well, I love seeing the smiles on the floor, and especially when you got that connection with your point guard.
Hassett from the land down under. Here's Jones, good take. And then Carroll grabs the rebound.
I think the shot selection that Arkansas has had has been good. They just haven't been able to fall.
Key, nice offensive rebound and stick back. Second rebound for Key and 4 points. Kentucky now on an 8-0 run. That has been a characteristic of this team late in the season. They have been putting together a lot of runs. They had a 16-0 run to start the game against Texas A&M. They had a 19-0 run against Ole Miss. They even had an 11-0 run against South Carolina on Sunday and barely lost. Hassett, she's on fire.
Hassett is on fire. Tony Morgan continued to look for those scorers outside, and as long as you get open, she will get you the ball.
Hassett's matching her hair color. She's red hot right now.
Red hot, on fire.
We saw a quick glimpse of her parents that have traveled from Australia. They got to be a part of Senior Day at Kentucky last weekend and have stayed here to come to their first SEC tournament. Carroll. Rebounded by Robinson.
Now you wonder if Arkansas is going to take it for the last shot, but no. Bates drives it in.
Bates gets the N1. Go back to Hassett's red-hot three-point shooting.
Well, Hassett always comes in ready, but Tony Morgan on the lookout. Hassett, I like the release up top. See the smile running down the floor, and then again on the other side, another three-point opportunity. So she is red hot right now.
And there's Millie's parents, Rachel there on the left, Rohan on the right, and her brother's in there too, William. So they've traveled all the way from Australia. They're normally 14 hours ahead of East Coast time. And so they do watch every game. But she grew up playing a sport called netball there. I still don't know how they know how it goes in. There's no net.
It goes, well, yeah, I mean, you kind of have to just be very, it's like golf. When you hit the ball, you don't know. And then all of a sudden you just see it like bouncing.
I don't know. In golf, it hits the bottom of the cup. But if you can play netball, you can play basketball. And she realized that she'd have more opportunities in this sport. Final seconds of the quarter. Obi padding her rebound stats and gets a bucket as well. So that was about as well as it could have gone for Kentucky in the opening quarter.
Well, it had definitely been all Kentucky. They came out ready, locked in, focused on a 13-3 run to end the second quarter, in the first quarter.
Kentucky up 29-10 after the first 10. It was fun listening to Steffi and Coach Neighbors and Dari kind of debate all of those award winners. But congratulations to all of them. Also want to point out Carly Weathers of Alabama was the SEC Scholar Athlete of the Year.
And I know you love that. That was the one that should have been first in your mind. But yeah, a huge congratulations. So many great players in the SEC, and every given night, you never know who can win, but the players always step up.
Bonnie Dees forcing the second Kentucky turnover on the first possession of the second quarter. Dees runs baseline, scoops it up. Hassett grabs a rebound. Kentucky has already made 5 threes. Dees with a steal. Up to Jones. And Jones with a layup. Good start for the Razorbacks.
All right, Bonnie Dees, all about the defense, and you can tell even in the huddle for Arkansas, they are not going to give up. They are a team that will play for 40 minutes at this level, no matter what the score is.
Offensive foul on Tiani Keys.
And once again, Bonnie Dees right there to get the offensive foul, but you see her reaching in behind Boone and able to come up with that steal.
Bonnie Dees from Melbourne, Australia. And Jenna Lawrence from Melbourne, Arkansas. So a couple of Melbourneites.
Melbourneites, I like that. Okay.
Bonnie's been to the Australian Open in Melbourne. And, hey, Jenna Lawrence has been to the biggest event in Melbourne, Arkansas, the Izard County Fair and Livestock Show. I hope I said Izard. I hope it's Izard. Love that comparison. Strack under the bucket. Easy 2.
Yeah, so easy. When she gets that low, right underneath the basket, well, all she has to do is go straight up for the shot. That's money.
Jones would not be denied. just bullied her way to the basket.
Well, they know what they need right now. They need points. So you're trying to figure out a way to get to the basket. Either you get to the basket or you get to the free throw line.
Lexi Blue in off the bench misses her first attempt. Dees gets out ahead of everybody and will go in for the reverse layup. So an excellent start for Arkansas. They're up 6-2 here in the second quarter.
It's interesting, Coach Brooks talked about just wanting to sub more earlier, and you see that Tony Morgan out of the game, Lexi Blue in the game, having the opportunity to play.
Clara Strack cleaning up that miss by Lexi Blue, almost went in. Would have been Kentucky's 6-3, but they'll take the 2. Jones blocked out of bounds by Strack. Strack, the single season block holder in Kentucky history.
And she's great. And she always has her eyes on the ball, but you see she knows how to get the block in the air instead of getting her body into the player and forcing a foul.
Broke her own record this year. She set the single season block record last year and broke it this year. Dees. Something always happens when Bonnie Dees is around the ball. Here's Lawrence. Another block by Strack, but right back to Lawrence. The other Melbourneite. Tony Morgan laughing coming up the floor because Obi almost lost that ball out of bounds. Hassett. She needs her parents in every game.
I would assume yes. I would say so, but that's another assist by Tony Morgan, always finding those open players.
Arkansas looking to get another bucket here from Dees, and Dees is fouled on the way to the basket. Obi gets her, and let's go back to the Morgan Hassett.
Look at Tony Morgan, always knows where her open shooters are, and Hassett, you can't give her that much space. If she can see the basket, she can see the ball going in.
Boone commits the foul on the inbounds pass, which was intended for Harmony Ware, and that'll be the second foul on Boone.
Arkansas tried to distract you as they're going through the out-of-bounds plays.
Tony Morgan, I mentioned she leads the NCAA in total assists. Just had her 8th quarter with 5 or more assists this season.
Well, today she has assisted on every single three-point basket that was made.
Harmony Ware at the free throw line, 74% free throw shooter this year. She's one of Kelsey Music's go-tos off the bench this season, averaging 8 points a game off the bench, just a freshman. Good-looking free throws.
We talk about just the parity of what weapon Kentucky has. Out of the 12 made baskets that they have, 8 of those have been assisted on. I mean, Tony Morgan has 6 of those assists.
What do you appreciate about her, Tamika? She's a different type of point guard than Georgia Amore.
Well, she definitely is, but it's all a different team. Georgia, they needed her to score. Tony, they need her to find the open players, but also she can score if she needs to. And I think that's the fun and the excitement. When you get excited to see your team, no matter who scores, no matter who assists, that's the type of player you want on your team.
Robinson buries the 3, the second made 3 of the day for the Razorbacks.
And the Razorbacks are going to continue to play at this level. They want to get the ball up and down, and talked about it a little bit. Music wanting to get the up and down offense to play. Take another look at this. Look at this screen right here. Clara Strack. And then she goes straight to the basket, post up, because she has a mismatch. And she knows that the help defense is coming over, so that gives her a nice little floater.
Bonnie Dees breaking up another dribble drive by Hassett. Razorbacks outscoring Kentucky by 2 here in the second quarter. Oh, nice move by Emily Robinson.
Okay, Emily Robinson hit the 3 last couple possessions to go, and then comes right in. And you can tell Coach Music is saying, take the ball to the basket.
Robinson, one of the players that came with Kelsey Music from Oral Roberts.
Look at down low, Robinson and Strack.
Yeah, Robinson's got her handful down there. Strack's asking for the ball, gets it, has a big size advantage. Morgan from the elbow. And Dees with the rebound. She's already set the Arkansas freshman rebound record. There's a lot of record holders today. I feel like all I'm doing is talking about people breaking records.
I love it. We always say records are set to be broken.
Nice move by Harmony Ware.
Coach has been able to try a lot of different lineups today, and look at this press. You got to get it over.
A turnover on Morgan. Arkansas on a 7-0 run here in the SEC tournament's first game in the scenic city of Greenville, South Carolina.
We thought the threes would be a key. Holding Arkansas only 2 of them to make them 6. Missed a few here late. They've had great looks at it. It could have easily been 9 or 10.
Amelia Hassett already hit 4 of them.
Sam?
Thanks, Sorry. And Arkansas has hit 2 more shots than they hit in the entire first quarter. Jones misses that one. Dees grabs another rebound. She is always in the right spot to get rebounds.
Well, I like watching Dees. She's that player that you want on your team. She's aggressive in every sense of the word. She's going to attack the basket. Defensively, she's always in the play. On the board, she's on the offensive board and the defensive board. She's a fearless competitor when it comes to the games.
Kentucky trying to break the 7-0 run by Arkansas. Arkansas has outscored Kentucky 15-9 this quarter. Tough pass. Obi couldn't hang on to it. So there is the 6th turnover here in this quarter for Kentucky.
Well, that's a 7th turnover in the game for Kentucky. Arkansas has switched up the defense just enough to force a couple of turnovers.
3 is short. Carroll grabs the rebound. Notice Coach Brooks using his bench a lot more in this game.
Yeah, the hard part about playing on the first day is if you want the opportunity to play on Sunday, you literally are playing 5 days straight. Clara Strack with a nice basket down low. And that's one thing Coach Brooks talked about yesterday. We want to play on Sunday. I have to use my bench more early to make sure we have those opportunities.
Bonnie Dees flips it back to Jones. Ooh. That'll make the summer camp film. That was nice.
A nice little spin if one of the seniors, and you know, she wants to go out with a bang.
Kentucky always a threat to hit threes, but they really haven't been shooting the threes here in the second quarter. Jones gets called for the foul on Strack. Here's the last Kentucky possession that broke the 7-0 run.
Well, right there you see a nice little cut to the middle of the floor. Strack does a great job. She's always in the right position, but she knows when her other post player is cutting that it's going to leave her wide open.
Strack knocks down the jumper off that inbounds play. Emily Robinson had committed her 3rd foul.
Strack now with 11 points. She's 5 for 7. Already almost had a double-double, 11 and 8.
Robinson knocks down another 3. Robinson's made 2 of the Arkansas 3 threes. Carroll getting into Strack. Strack, fade away. Obi, big offensive rebound. And it'll go to Arkansas. Well, a reminder, next Thursday, right here on SEC Network and the ESPN app, our next SEC Inside will actually grant you an all-access pass to this event, the SEC Women's Basketball Tournament, 6 Eastern, 5 Central. Arkansas with the ball. Outstanding second quarter after trailing at the end of the first, 29-10.
And that's going to be a foul on Clara Strack. That's her 2nd foul.
Asia Boone comes in off the Kentucky bench and will replace Strack. Boone, remember, red hot in the first quarter with 2 threes. That was the 4th team foul on Kentucky, so Arkansas will be in the bonus for the rest of the quarter. Ware, she's been impactful this quarter.
Well, you can tell right off the bat, the message has been attack the basket or take the 3 if you're wide open.
Morgan gets stopped by Robinson. Obi goes to a double team, loses the ball, but Morgan's there to bail her out. Hassett.
How about that extra pass right there?
Would have been Hassett's 5th three-pointer.
That's going to be a foul on Arkansas.
Foul on Arkansas on that rebound. And we're waiting to see who they cut. It's on Lawrence. That'll be her first. And so Coach Musick will go to the bench and bring in Wavette Mayberry for the first time in 33 years. We have another Mayberry in an Arkansas jersey. Her dad, one of the all-time greats. Hassett, quick shot.
Love how Kentucky has just been relentless on the board. The different lineup when Clara Strack is not on the floor.
How so?
Well, she just spaces her and Tiana Key. They space out the floor, just make it hard. So you have to guard them out on the wing. And obviously, Clara Strack, as tall as she is, she's impactful.
What a move by Talia Jones, drawing the foul, getting the chance at the end one. Check this out.
Yeah, Jones, a nice move and one. Get yourself to the free throw line, but I gotta love the emotion.
Third foul on Asia Boone. So Lexi Blue comes back in off the bench to replace Boone. Boone with 6 points, hit 2 3-pointers in the quarter. Jones, leading scorer for Arkansas. Now with 12 points here in the first half. Looking forward to hearing Dari, Coach Neighbors, and Steffi break it down at halftime.
Arkansas went down 19 coming into the second quarter, and they just continue to fight.
That lead has been reduced to 9 at the moment. Shot clock is under 10. Tony Morgan out to Carroll, shooting the 3. Dees will bring it up the floor, about a 7-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock to end the half. Lob to Lawrence. Hassett. Lexi Blue out on the break.
Well, they're going to hold for one shot. Try to get the best look at the basket going into halftime.
Tony Morgan glancing back at Kenny Brooks. Final 10 seconds of the half. Morgan to Blue. A step back 3. Short. So Arkansas closes the half on a 15-4 run. They cut the lead back to single digits. And officials said they were going to look at the clock. Now they're not. So it is officially halftime. Kentucky up 42-33. We will send you now to the Academy Sports and Outdoors halftime report. Dari, Mike Neighbors, and Steffi has already broken the 3-point single season record. However, Millie Hassett now is right behind her, now tied with the old record holder, Ryan Howard. Opening 3 is missed by Arkansas. Kentucky will now have the ball on their first possession. I think Kenny Brooks would be happy with that first half, Tamika, because he was able to use his bench and they didn't lose the lead. Strack, fade away, off the mark. There's Dees again with another rebound.
Yeah, Dees is part of every single play. Love what she does, though. She's always around the basket and trying to find the offensive, defensive rebound.
Yeah, Bonnie Dees, just a rebounding machine. But would you agree that Coach Brooks would be happy with that first half? Because he did get a lot of good production from the bench.
I think he is definitely happy with the production he got from the bench and being able to play a lot of different players. However, when you look at Kentucky starting off being up by 19 and Arkansas feeding into that lead, I remember looking over at him a couple of times just so you could see the frustration, but then you have to calm down. Got 8, Kentucky right now has 8 turnovers.
Interesting, both teams won the quarter by double digits, but the overall score was a 9-point lead for Kentucky starting. Dees, no one has scored yet here in the third quarter. It's Kentucky's second chance. Morgan, baseline jumper. Strack with the offensive rebound, and she is fouled. And if that's on Clarkson, that is not good news.
And it is on Clarkson.
Third foul on Clarkson, and it will put Strack on the free throw line.
Well, for Arkansas in the first half of the game, Clarkson and Rodriguez both picked up 2 fouls early on in the first quarter and ended up sitting on the bench for quite a long time. So it'll be interesting to see what Coach Music does this half.
Strack missed the first free throw, and her second one is good. Strack now with 12 points.
12 points, 10 rebounds. Coming into the second half. Not a bad lineup.
And offensive foul against Arkansas. Clarkson gets called for that foul, and that'll be her 4th.
Take another look at this. As you see right there, oh yeah, Clarkson went up on Tiani Key. She took out both of the post players. First Tiani Key, and then Strack gets the second half of that.
So as a result of that being her 4th foul, Clarkson will sit down. That changes the dynamic for Arkansas.
Well, it does, but it doesn't. I think when you look at Arkansas, and Clarkson wasn't on the floor when they got back into the game, and I think other players have had to step up, and that's what makes a great team.
Nice pass again from Morgan to Obi for the finish. Morgan with 9 assists already. A rejection by Hassett.
I love with Toni Morgan, when you watch just the way she plays, her head is always up. She's always looking at who's the next person to get the pass. And Obi, the recipient of that last one.
Rodriguez faked but took an extra step, and that'll turn it back over to Kentucky.
Arkansas trying to put on the full court press.
Back-to-back turnovers for the Razorbacks. And margins are so thin when you play Kentucky.
I think when you get to tournament time, just in general, every single possession matters. Not just the margins. You got to be ready for every play.
Hassett with a hand in her face. Misses the 3, but it was basically a good pass to Obi.
Yeah, I will say that was a great pass. Give her the assist.
Robinson made a couple of threes first half, misses this one. Now, Coach Music told her team it's March Madness. This is where the magic happens. She had us fired up yesterday at shoot-around.
I definitely saw the confetti coming down. Maybe 1 or 2 pieces.
Champion will be crowned on Sunday. Lob into Strack, and Strack will go back to the free throw line.
I saw a little trippiness going on down there, but let's take another look at this. Strack. Always Strack to Hassett. And that's the assist that we were talking about. Definitely a pass.
Saleha Jones just got called for her 2nd foul to put Strack back on the free throw line. Clara Strack has her own day in Hamburg, New York. Clara Strack Day, always January 11th. Did you ever have your own day, Tamika Ketchum?
I did do. I don't know. I didn't know if it was like a yearly thing or that's just a one and done.
I think it's forever.
Forever.
Well, you have your own mural, though, in Indianapolis.
They might put one of those Clara Strack mural, Kentucky.
Well, she is.
Or Georgia Amore.
Yeah. What a player Strack has turned out to be. Only player in the nation that averages 16 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, and 2.5 blocks per game. And Kentucky has opened this 3rd quarter now on a 7-0 run. Arkansas got to get going. Rodriguez, well defended, and puts it in.
A lot of shot fakes, trying to get Strack a little bit distracted. Strack stays connected, but that's a great finish.
Strack short on that attempt. Hassett gets the rebound. Morgan probing. She'll take it in and shoot.
And Toni Morgan, not necessarily that player looking to find her own basket. She's so good at setting other players up, but she knows when it's her time to step up and take those shots.
Mayberry Off the mark. Morgan, there's that head up, like you mentioned, always looking for the pass.
Kentucky's just so good. Look at most teams, when you look at them, they don't want to go side to side. They don't want to make that extra pass, and I think that's the difference in what makes Kentucky so good.
Shot clock down to 5. A long possession. Hassett open for 3. That's dangerous. Timeout Arkansas. Millie Hassett has just made her 5th three-pointer. And Kentucky has outscored Arkansas 12-2 to start the half.
Well, Hassett is all over the floor, and you know when the ball is in her hand, great things happen. Shots up, it's good right before the buzzer.
Games for you tonight. So what does Arkansas need to do right now, Tamika?
Well, I think the big thing is play together. They got back into the game by moving the ball, making the extra passes. So I think they got to get back to that.
Mayberry missing the 3. She had a 25-point game on Sunday. Talea Jones is down on the other end of the floor. An and 1 for Tony Morgan, but Jones is still down under the basket on the opposite side of the court. So that play continued on. Morgan gets the bucket, will go to the free throw line, but now Talea Jones, as a result of this.
Ouch. Yeah, that looked like it hurt that right arm.
And up sitting now. And good to see Talea Jones bounce back up. Jones leading scorer for Arkansas in the season and today with 12 points. So hopefully we'll get her back out here. On the other side of the floor as she goes back to the locker room. 4th team foul against Arkansas. That was on Bonnie Dees. Puts Morgan on the free throw line.
And believe it or not, Bonnie Dees, that's only her first foul of the game.
It's an 8-0 Kentucky run right now. Kentucky beat Arkansas by 20 on February 1st. Winner of this will get a chance at revenge against Georgia tomorrow. Both these teams lost to the Lady Bulldogs in the regular season.
Arkansas really right now reverting, trying to get the open shots outside, and the shots aren't falling. One thing you got to do is you got to find a way to get the ball inside the paint.
Obi trying to get a distraction shoot instead. And Jordan Obi, with only her 8th made 3 of the season, teaches Arkansas a lesson. You got to guard me.
Well, and she's the only player outside of Boone and Hassett that has knocked down a 3 so far.
Another block by Hassett. Millie Hassett and Asia Boone are now tied for the single season 3-point record.
I like the pass right there. Obi takes a look inside, trying to get the ball in, and she realizes, hey, I'm open, not that. Take the shot.
And the Gators always turn March into some madness.
Well, you know they're going to come ready to play, and I'm excited about this matchup because both teams pretty similar in how they play, both trying to, figure out for their program, how do you turn that page and become one of those elite programs. So good matchup, a lot of young players.
We'll have that game for you right after this one. Rodriguez trying to begin the comeback for Arkansas. That is an 11-0 run by Kentucky. And it was the largest lead of the game so far for the Wildcats. Morgan open, buries it.
This is Morgan time right now. Start the half off, or start the game off, rather, trying to find all the open players and then kind of fills in the gaps.
Morgan, 9 points, 9 rebounds. Dees gets loose, gets her own miss. A one-handed grab, too. Mayberry bumped by Morgan, and Mayberry will go to the line. Let's start the triple-double watch.
Hey, Tony Morgan, eyes up, gets to a sweet spot right in the middle of the paint. Free throw line, nice shot.
So,
got a little something in her eye, or maybe she just said that's in your eye. I don't know, one or the other.
but she's got 9 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds. Just saying. Mayberry at the free throw line. Mentioned earlier that Mayberry, the daughter of Arkansas men's basketball legend Lee Mayberry, so proud of his daughter. He's the 3rd all-time leading scorer in Arkansas history, and she is wearing that Arkansas jersey. It's a dream for her.
Well, they took it out. Wasn't it retired?
Yeah.
Took it down just so that she could wear it.
Her dad allowed her to wear it.
Allowed her.
What if he had said no?
He wouldn't have.
Morgan. Tony Morgan's turned into a scorer. She's changing some scouting reports.
Well, and now what you're seeing is Kentucky has 4 players in double digits. Morgan just hit 11. You got Strack with 14, Hassett with 15, and Obi with 12. A good drive to the basket. Started on the other side. Last play we watched, he came from the left to the right. This one from the right to the left. Oh, versatility.
6 straight made shots by Kentucky. Morgan triple teamed. And a foul against the Razorbacks.
Yeah, Bonnie D's had her hands in on the ball, maybe got a little bit of the hand as well.
So Arkansas now in the bonus for the remainder of the quarter. And Talea Jones back out of the locker room. Good to see her on the bench. Hopefully we'll see her back in the game. She got shaken up a little bit. Here she comes, walking down and taking the seat right next to where coach is standing. So Tony Morgan back on the free throw line. Morgan looking for her 12th point. Gets it. Well, Sunday gymnastics on SEC Network. Number 2 LSU, number 4 Florida. That is a heck of a gymnastics rivalry. That's in the O'Connell Center. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern on SEC Network and the ESPN app. Strack with the offensive rebound. Pass it open for 3.
I love the extra pass. Boone had the opportunity to take the shot, but gets another better opportunity. A Strack out of nowhere. For the block.
Strack adds to her single season block record total, and now will put in 2 more points. Strack with 16 points and 12 rebounds, her 14th double-double of the season. Bonnie D's, and you might imagine why the kids are going crazy right now. 6-7.
6-7.
Morgan, Strack with the offensive board and a foul in the process.
That's going to be on Bonnie D. That's her 3rd foul.
Both teams going to the bench. Arkansas will send 3 in. Kentucky will send 2 in. It is, in case you didn't know, it's Kids Day.
They're everywhere.
So the decibel level is way over the 6-7 that they are screaming about.
I don't know about you, Sam, though. It's a school day, right?
Yeah.
If I have the choice to sit in the classroom, which I love to go to school, don't get me wrong, math was my favorite subject, or come to a women's basketball game and see some premier athletes, I think this makes for a pretty good day of school.
Well, this is part of the education experience.
6-7, yeah. You just got to wait until they get to that point, right? And then we can just scream as loud as we possibly can.
It reminds me of something Kentucky athletic director Mitch Barnhart, who is about to retire, always said. He wants to put championship rings on fingers and diplomas in hands.
Yeah, we wish him much success as he ventures on to the next.
And he's actually going to stay at Kentucky in another role. He'll be retiring in June, the longest tenured athletic director in the SEC, announcing his retirement yesterday. And just an absolute class act that filters down to every coach and person we deal with in the program. Final 2 minutes of the 3rd quarter. Carroll just has not gotten one to fall. Very good 3-point shooter off the bench.
But I always say, when you get to games like this and your shot doesn't fall,
yeah,
if you get an opportunity, and granted, Kentucky's winning right now, but if you get the opportunity, the next game it will fall. So just keep shooting.
Well, Coach Brooks is bringing in Josie Gilvin off the bench. The Kentucky native will be on the floor when we come back. Quarter right now. She's outscoring the entire Arkansas team in the third quarter. Turnover forced by the Razorbacks, and then they give it right back to Kentucky.
If you look at the offense for Kentucky, 4 players on the outside, passing the ball around the ring.
Good heads-up play by Josie Gilvin, who I mentioned is in the game for the first time. She is the only Kentucky native on this roster from Louisville and just produces a turnover on Arkansas. Yeah. Gotta love that.
Yeah, smart play. Take advantage of the minutes that you get when you get on the floor. Got to make some things happen, and that's one thing that Coach Brooks talks about. It just the bench has to come in and maintain or do better.
Boone. Boone at the free throw line now after the second foul on Robinson. Asia Boone transferred in from Liberty University. Liberty played Kentucky last year in the NCAA tournament. And Boone, who is an aspiring pilot, actually done emergency landings, over 40 flight hours. Her parents were retired military pilots. She put her flight career on hold to come to Kentucky because Kentucky doesn't have a flight school.
Pretty cool story, though,
Yeah.
just the fact. So I think it would be so cool to not have to get in a car and just be able to fly yourself everywhere.
You need a good job to make that happen. Gilvin, another good heads-up basketball play. Kenny Brooks took his team to the NCAA tournament last year in his first season as head coach. They were one of the top 16 seeds last year, got to host first and second rounds. Nice move by Lawrence.
Good job, Jenna Lawrence. Heads up play. Kentucky aiming for the switch and not able to get there.
Final seconds of the third quarter. Kentucky has outscored Arkansas by 18 here in the third. Final second. No basket. Wouldn't have counted if it had gone in.
Kentucky Wildcat team has dominated in every facet of the word, but one of the things that you love when you watch Kara Strack, always in the right position, offensively, see how she gets the footwork, gets the ball underneath the basket. Defensively, playing without fouling is so important. That's one of the things that she does. She has 3 blocks on top of 18 points and 13 rebounds. It's just been phenomenal today.
Strack's had her 12th game this season with 15 or more points and 10 or more rebounds. That was the highest scoring third quarter in SEC play this year for Kentucky, and they start with a 2 by Strack, and Strack is up to 20 points now.
Go back to the first game against Arkansas, February 1st. Strack had 33, gave her her career high in points, and looking to do that again today.
Gilvin committing the foul, trying to stop Bonnie Dees, which is a tough assignment.
What makes Bonnie Dees so good is she's always moving.
Yeah, like you.
Yeah, but like you watch her on offense and defense, but she can play and guard the 1 through the 5. We've seen her on every single position, at every single player position. But she's active, she moves, she hustles, always in the play.
Morgan gets the steal and goes down uncontested for the 2. And it's a 4-0 start quickly for Kentucky here in the fourth.
14 points now for Tony Morgan.
Jones short on the 3 attempt. Kentucky trying to have another record-setting day. Their largest win in an SEC tournament game, 29 points in 1980.
Crazy,
Right now,
it doesn't feel like it's that long.
Yeah. They were the 2022 champions as the number 7 seed. Archer gets it to go. Good heads-up play by Archer. Full court pressure. Boone had Gilvin open early, didn't get it to her, and then finally does, and she scores. And the bench erupts for Josie Gilvin getting the bucket.
Definitely excited to see when players come off the bench. I mean, they come to practice every single day and put their heart, their sweat, blood, tears, all of that in practice. Bonnie D continues to do what she does for Arkansas. But it's great to see when your bench players get in and get the opportunity. But they are part of the team just as important as the starters.
Yeah, it was only the 9th made shot of the season for Gilvin. That's out of bounds. It'll stay with Kentucky. Gilvin, number 33 in white, transferred in from Western Kentucky. I mentioned she's from Louisville. It's an all-conference performer in Conference USA. Gilvin with the catch. Here's Key. Tiani Key. Boy, she makes that look easy.
Tiani's been silent as far as offensively, but her impact on the floor, and I think Kentucky really felt it when she was out those games. She's just one of those players, like I said earlier, stretch the offense. Defensively, her height, her length, what she's able to do, brings the ball up, and she's at the top of the press right now, part of the press breaker.
It's a nice 3 by Lawrence on the other end. Kentucky has yet to miss a shot here in the 3rd quarter. Morgan probing into Obi, and Obi will go to the basket. Obi today with her 4th double-double of the season. 2nd time she's done it against an SEC opponent. The other one was against Tennessee. She's got 12 points, 10 rebounds, and has a chance to add to that. The foul, though, was the 4th on Dees. Dees today, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. And Obi continues to add to her point total, now up to 14.
Been a great, just overall for every single player that's come in. They've done a good job, and that's definitely going to be a charge.
Marin Archer gets called for the offensive foul.
One of the things for Arkansas, they started off in the first half really attacking the basket, then they settled back into shooting more threes, and now trying to get back into that aggressive mindset. But Archer trying to just will her way to the basket, gets called for that foul.
A collision, Morgan and Dees. Jones has the ball, shoots and scores. Tell you, this Arkansas team, they don't give up. They don't look at the scoreboard.
They don't, and think about this. Bonnie Dees, number 22 for Arkansas, who we continue to talk about. Great pass, great finish at the basket.
Gilvin, both buckets coming off of Asia Boone assists. A little combination going there. Lawrence misses the 3, Gilvin gets the rebound. Well, Kenny Brooks, who talked to us yesterday about wanting his bench to be able to maintain a lead they build, I think they've done that today. Good contribution off the bench.
Well, I think it also helps when you know that you're going to play and to be ready when your time and when your number is called. I'll go back, take another look at this press break, but look at Kentucky trying to pass, and then they find the open player. Nobody falls back for Arkansas. Gilvin, good heads-up play. Nobody in front. Run to the basket. Get an opportunity for 2 points.
Hassett just came in, knocks down the 3 off the bench. And Millie Hassett with her 6th three-pointer of the day.
Well, Hassett knew it was going in before it even went in. She started running back. Like, all right, y'all, come on back.
It'll be Kentucky's ball. And we were talking about the Kentucky bench. They've gotten 18 points off the bench today. Tamika, that's the most points they've had off the bench in SEC play this season. Statistician Alan Thrifley communicating that to me. Talk about working hard. Alan's got to do 4 games today.
We'll be here for 2. We got you, Alan. We're here. We'll make it the best start for the day for you, okay? Finish strong now.
Hard-working crew here in Greenville. And Gilman travels. So Arkansas get the ball back. Right now, Kentucky up 85-52. You know, the Gators and Bulldogs, ESPN Analytics basically says this is a pick 'em, 50-50. That's going to be a fun one to watch right after this.
Well, both teams very electric. You got players that just those fun young players too coming up, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that game. Liv McGill from Florida, Madison Prancer from Mississippi State. Good matchup.
Obi breaking the press, picks up her dribble. Carroll takes it. Good D by Arkansas. Again, they're just relentless.
Part of it, Arkansas trying to force some time off the clock and see if you can get a turnover.
Gilman lost it out of bounds. It'll stay with Kentucky. You know, I heard Coach Neighbors say that when that top 16 reveal came out the other night, what's the mentality right now of the committee? He said, well, they're starting to watch the games. So Kentucky is right on the bubble of that top 16. And I think this has looked like a very good performance today for Kentucky.
Well, I would agree with you, and it's not just them coming out. This is a dominant performance, but the amount of what Coach Brooks had been able to do, the amount of players that have been able to play, the style that they play. Clara Strack continues to be that player that you want to watch from the Kentucky side. But as an overall, you know, and Coach Brooks said, hey, at the end of the day, I don't care if we host or not. We want to go, and we will be ready to play come tournament time.
Charlie Cream says a win today, a win against Georgia tomorrow should get them in a good spot if they get some help in the Big Ten tournament. But that's a long way from happening. One at a time.
One game at a time.
Dees. 3 on the way. Just so tough to get a rebound against Kentucky.
Well, they swarm the boards and make it almost impossible for anybody else to come in and get a board.
Well, Kenny Brooks got to be happy with how this one's going. His Wildcats are scoring at all 3 levels, and they are way out in front here in the 4th quarter. Moments today for Kentucky. They've got 3 players with a double-double for the first time since 2015 in a single game. Tony Morgan, the all-time assists leader for a single season. Obi getting her 4th double-double of the season. Millie Hassett, well, she has now tied an SEC tournament record for 6 threes, but she's also now broken Asia Boone's record from earlier in the day for the single season 3-pointers made record in Kentucky history.
Well, and if they continue, which it looks like they're going to continue on to tomorrow, that record could be broken. Those two are just kind of going at it, back and forth, and Boone knocks it down. Still in the race.
Okay, we're tied again.
Still in the race.
Hassett and Boone tied for the single season threes record.
It's not a competition.
Also of note, number 11 in white for Kentucky, Gabby Brooks is in the game, Coach Brooks' daughter. So Coach Brooks has now officially used every player that is eligible to play today. And Gabby, sort of that glue piece on this team, really helps her dad in providing such a positive locker room culture.
Well, and that's important. You know, it's funny talking to Brooks yesterday. He was saying he used to be really, really hard on his daughters. Kendall's also on the staff, and be really, really hard. And somebody finally came over and said, like, look, you just need to be fair. Be fair with your daughters. Don't overcoach, undercoach. Just be fair. And he said he really took that to heart, and that's been something that he tried to instill.
Johnny Key, there's an example of her handling the basketball. Just broke that press by herself and then muscles it up and in. One thing Tiani did over the offseason, she put on 10 pounds of muscle.
You can't tell, but definitely the way she plays.
Come on now.
She's stronger. She's stronger. Tiani now with 10. They got Tiani with 10, Boone with 10, Obi with 14, Morgan 14. So, yeah, 5 players in double digits.
Key looking to post up. So smooth, Tiani Key.
And even when he tries to go to his bench, the whole point of it is every single player brings something to the team. And Tiani been quiet early on, but stepping up late.
Mayberry knocks down the 3 from the corner for Arkansas. 92-59 the score. Lexi Blue is going to come into the game now from Lake Nona, just outside of Orlando, Florida, replacing Tiani Key. Key with 12 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. And Kentucky's now gone over 90 points for just the 4th time in program history in the SEC tournament. And a foul on Bonnie Dees. That will foul her out of the game. So the freshman sensation for Kelsey Music will foul out with 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. And capping an incredible SEC season for her. What a job she did in just her first year, really carrying a lot of the load for this team.
And I love, look at that smile. Yeah. She has literally put everything out there on the floor for this team. You look at her jersey, it's like 2 different colors.
Come on, she's an Aussie. They're all happy.
Nobody's happy to lose.
Carroll. Jones with a rebound. Reminder, Mississippi State, Florida will be the next game. We'll be getting a full studio show in between games. Boone somehow comes up with that loose ball.
Good hustle play, Gabby for 3.
Boy, the Kentucky bench was going to explode if that went in. Yeah, no, that's Coach's daughter, number 11 in white. Here's Lexi Blue trying to work her way to the basket. And it will be Arkansas's ball and off her leg. Good drive, though.
I like the thought. Lexi Blue trying to get the ball to the basket. You take the shot or you get a pass out. Jones.
That's a sweet shot by Talea Jones.
I respect the way that Arkansas, they never give up, and you can tell just the way that they're playing. Lexi Blue.
Blue working hard inside, didn't get the call there. Arkansas will get the ball back. 90 seconds left in regulation, 3 on the way. Only starter on the floor right now for Kentucky is Asia Boone, number 8. Continues to run the point. And Kentucky's had 3 players with double-doubles in this opening game. First time that's happened since 2015. Carroll. And a minute to play. So Kentucky will be advancing to face Georgia tomorrow, and that is going to be a very interesting game, Tamika. Foul on Gilvin will put Ware on the free throw line. The reason is when Georgia and Kentucky played in the regular season, it was a game that was originally supposed to be on a Sunday. Winter Storm Fern changed that. They moved the game back to Saturday. Georgia at Kentucky, and Georgia was able to get the win in Lexington, and that has been a very pivotal win for Georgia and tough loss for Kentucky.
Yeah, definitely. And when you look at, you said this in the open, we did not know what the final standings was until after the games on Sunday, just how tight that race was. And that was, not only did they change the date, they changed the time. The game was played at noon. So much different situation, much different circumstance, but regardless, the game happened, we move on, and now this is kind of a rematch. And we'll see which team shows up.
Georgia Lady Bulldogs back in the spotlight on the national scene, one of the most storied programs in women's basketball history. Jones, Carroll tripped and is going to get called for the foul, but really nothing she could do about it. She tripped into Jones's body. So Talea Jones will go to the free throw line. Jones, 19 points today and has not missed a free throw. Talea came over with Coach Music from Oral Roberts. Coach Music said that she's basically like another coach on the floor, one of the undisputed leaders of this team.
Well, you want that. You want an extension of who you are and what you stand for. And Jones has come in. He's helped this team, helped mold it. Of course, the other pieces as well. But it's been fun to watch her this season just get herself into the SEC and play. And it's a different game.
Carroll with the bucket off the Gilvin assist. You know, a lot of the players for Arkansas helping Coach Music set her foundation this season. And I expect big things from this Arkansas program in the future. Final seconds here in Greenville of the first game in the SEC tournament. And it is Kentucky's largest margin of victory in their SEC tournament history. A statement win for the Wildcats, and a lot of mutual admiration between those two head coaches.
Love the way both of these teams competed this afternoon, came out, and of course, you know what's on the line. You want to get to that next game. All you want to do is you win or go home, so you want to advance. Both teams put out a good performance. Kentucky comes out on top. The play of their big three and then some. Every single player contributed in this game.
Well, this is also only the second time Kentucky has led wire